and welcome to the Stages of Change. What we're going to be speaking through here today is speaking a little bit about the mindset, some simple strategies, and get you to understand a little bit more about motivation, about behavior change, and about just kind of open up some ideas for you to really equip you for the best possible outcome throughout this journey. Because anytime we start a journey, we start doing something new, it can really feel daunting. We feel that we're the new kids, for example. We worry that we won't fit in. We worry if people will judge us. We worry if we will ever be able to accept who we are. Really, it comes down to that worry if we will ever be good enough. Will we ever be accepted? And those are some valuable, valued, viable? Those are some real reasons as to why you might prevent the actions of taking change, because right now where you are, it's kind of like the diet you know versus the diet you don't. I'd rather stick with this suffering than see kind of what's on the other side. But look, if you're looking for permission to achieve the results that you've always dreamed of, then this is it. What we're going to be working through here is understanding what failure is, what motivation is, and how can we use and harness that. So look, the definition of failing is the shortcoming to reach the desired event or outcome. Failure is the inability to reach the desired event or outcome. So I want us to try think a little bit about clear in terms of what's actually going on, because when we look at it, failing is feedback. And let's think back to a simpler time. For example, the first skill that you ever really learned was probably to walk, or possibly to talk. Now, if we spoke to ourselves when we were months old and we were saying, oh, well, I can't walk. Well, I give up, just can't do it. I'm a failure. I'll never be good enough to be able to walk. Or with the right encouragement, with the right environment, with the right level of support, with trial and error, did you slowly but surely, you know what, I can do one step, I can do two steps, see if I find my balance a little bit better, see if I use a walker, if I use these little extra guides to slowly but surely learn how to walk. This is a skill that I want to learn for life. And I want to go through those models with you. And if you think about it, it's a bit like learning how to drive a car. When you're like 10, 11 years old, you're not really interested about driving a car. But then when you turn 15, 16, the interest is there. You see the freedom that you have. You can maybe even start taking some lessons. It's something that you're interested in. During your lessons, the next stage is when you're aware of it. Maybe you booked in your test. Maybe you just passed your test. And then slowly but surely, you're now driving and you're now having an argument. You're now drinking out your McDonald's cup or your bottle of juice, and you're listening to your favorite Taylor Swift song when you're driving along, or whatever, Justin Bieber into whatever. So what we need to look at is, what is that? And this is the cycle of change here. So when we look at where you were first off, we started at stage 1, unconsciously incompetent. Anytime we're learning a skill, we always start off here. Again, this is when you're 10, 11 years old, you don't know anything about driving. You don't care that you don't know anything about driving. Slowly but surely, you start taking lessons. You realize that you're consciously incompetent, and that leads to feelings of insecurity. You're learning a new skill. You've not quite got it. You're not quite confident in where you are. Slowly but surely, you start to build your confidence. You know how to do a little bit of planning. You know how to do a little bit of preparation. Maybe you start getting more confident in the gym. You just need to make sure you've got the right plan of attack in place. And then the real goal that we're looking to get to is have you unconsciously competent. And that's when you have the utmost of security. So look, I want to share this with you. There's going to be moments where you feel insecure. There's going to be moments where maybe you lack confidence. There's going to be moments where you want to sort of withdraw and try avoid these skills and avoid these challenges and go back into that element of comfort, because that's what we want. We're human. We love comfort. We love chilling out. We love relaxing. We don't like stress. We're not designed to take on high amounts of stress, and it's part of the journey. So this is the success cycle. So when anyone joins, anytime we have a certain belief about a situation, we then have a certain amount of potential based on our beliefs, which then influences the actions which we have, and then that takes over the results. So for example, I had a belief that I could never eat chocolate. I could never have chocolate in the house because I would always eat all of it. If that's the belief, if that's the story, the BS, the belief system that I'm telling myself, how much potential do you think I have to eat everything in sight? What actions am I going to take? What are the results? How is that going to then influence my belief system? And there's a number of different ways which you can do this. Think of a smoker. If one person who is trying to stop smoking, that's their belief, what are the results? Are you confident that they're going to successfully stop smoking? Versus if you ask another someone, oh no, I'm no longer a smoker. The goal is the exact same, but the belief that they have, the story that they're telling themselves is completely different. So maybe you're in here and you don't have the belief. We're going to be exploring your potential. We're going to be giving you a couple strategies to focus on, and that will get you results. And slowly but surely, this will increase your belief. This will increase your potential and will increase your confidence. But it's just about going through it's about going through the success cycle. What we need to look at in terms of the cycle of change is when you first thought about reaching out, you were in this pre-contemplation stage. And now you thought about it, then we jumped on a call, and now you've taken action. So now it's about, right, cool, now I'm in the program, how can I maintain that as long as I don't relapse? A lot of people avoid this relapse, but this is exactly where we can learn new skills. This is getting up and going again when you're, again, month-year-old baby trying to learn your first steps. It's about going around this cycle, and slowly but surely, this is the most important stage when we learn something. And guys, challenges, they're on the way. They're not in the way. As I'm recording this, it is currently November, so we're heading into Christmas. Like, a lot of people put off their festive, their weight gain. A lot of people put off their health and fitness. I'll start in January. As far as I remember, Christmas happens every year. I could put money on it that you have something coming up this month, if not two things, if probably even maybe more. So I would much rather address these things, attack these head on, and equip you with everything that you need to follow through and get success. Because direction is always more important than speed. I understand and appreciate that you want to lose as much weight as you possibly can. I'm with you. I'm on board for it. But we just need to make sure that we're doing this the right way. We need to make sure we're going through the process. Because as well, when it comes down to it, guys, like, confidence is relative. What do I mean by that? I'm quite confident when it comes to speaking about health and fitness. I'm actually a bit of an introvert. So if you put me in front of 1,000 people and told me to speak about football, I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't really care. I know enough about football to hold a conversation with my mates and my family and my dad, but like, I'm not that confident in it. So I don't have confidence when it comes down to that. So again, my willingness, my motivation to follow through on that is going to be dramatically impacted. So maybe you can think of areas which you're confident in your life. Maybe it's your house, maybe it's your family, maybe it's your relationships. Maybe you can cook a stir fry better than anybody in your house can. The difference is we need to think of the conscious and the subconscious. So 5% of your day is conscious. The other 95% is subconscious. Think about, you're watching this right now, and you would have woke up, you would have shivered, you would have washed your face, you would have brushed your teeth, combed your hair, maybe put on a bit of makeup, maybe you're put your contact lenses in, now you put clothes on, you're sitting down, you've been at work, you've done 1,001 different things, but a lot of that's done on autopilot. Did you put your right sleeve in your jumper first, or was it your left sleeve? Did you put your right trouser leg in? When you were doing your socks, did you put your left sock on first? When you were tying your laces, was it the right hand over the left hand, or was it left hand over the right hand? So much of our day goes on autopilot. So anytime that we're learning a new skill, again, we just need to bring that unconscious and that skill set that we're not good at, we just need to bring awareness to do that. And how we can do that is through journaling, it's through writing your food plan, it's through having a training plan, it's through daily accountability, it's through checking in each week. And that's exactly what we want to focus on here, team. When we look at this model here, our thinking is going to impact how we feel, and our feelings are going to impact what we do. If I think that if I tell myself the story that I'm socially awkward and I'm introverted I'm probably going to feel anxious. I'm probably going to feel quite ashamed. I'm going to feel quite conscious. I'm going to feel quite insecure in myself. What am I going to do when it comes to the idea of a party? I'm either going to go and be really, really awkward and be really, really sort of insecure, and then that's going to confirm my belief on how I think. Or I'm going to avoid the situation altogether. So how we think about ourselves really impacts how we feel, and what we do makes the biggest difference. So we need to, again, address this. So what I maybe want you to do is, we went through quite a lot here. I invite you to pause the lesson at this moment in time and just reflect back on what we've spoke about so far. And moving on. Firstly, when it comes to getting clear on your values, your values allow you creative control, and when setting direction which you want to head, they can serve as a guide into our decision making. And we've spoke a lot about values. If you haven't, there's a couple of fantastic resources. Just search values, just search the values factor, or of course just shoot me a message and we can follow up with that and direct you to the values factor, alongside writing your mission statement and a life that you can value. Those are the three things: a life that you can value, writing your life mission statement, and the values factor training in here are absolutely fantastic. Only then do we use these goals as checkpoints along the way. So you want to lose weight, right? How do we actually do that? What's the skill which is involved with that? Why is that important to you? And how do you want to go about that? Because you've lost weight in the past, but it's not quite worked. So we need to think a little bit deeper. And the last thing I want to introduce you to is just understanding motivation. Now, I've shared this a couple of times, but there's a few things which we need to understand about that influence motivation. Motivation is simply a thought. It's simply a feeling. So I can feel motivated one day, but I can also, like, as I'm writing this, I've just had breakfast. So if I was filming this an hour ago, I would have been more motivated to eat. So the problem with motivation is it comes in waves, and I can be more motivated by different things based on the time of the day, the time of the month, the time of the year, for example. As I said, we're heading into the festive season. So I'm going to be a lot more socially active. I'm probably going to be around a lot more food and alcohol. So those things influence my motivation. Now, when we look down here, we're going to, of course, get really, really clear on our emotion. This is important to you. Do you need to do this? Again, we've spoke a little bit about that, but as well, something I want to look at here, guys, is skill. Like I said, if I was learning how to fly a plane, for example, and I have a fear that I can kill people, no matter how motivated I feel like I am to fly a plane, I need to have the skill that backs it up. So maybe you don't know how to track your calories, maybe you don't know how to do exercise, and that influences your ability to follow through and deal with failure. Well, that's fine, because again, that is feedback. What we need to look at and think about is, it's not about what you feel that you should do, it's more about who you are. You want to be resilient, you want to be courageous, you want to be confident, and how we do that is by learning the skill. So again, values will get you really, really clear on who you are and what matters most to you. When we speak about your behaviors and your environment and your ability to follow through on things, these are the things which we can set up. So of course, getting your house in order, focusing through on the skills, what skills and capabilities do you have, beliefs and what's important to you. And again, we can explore this, because I'm sure we've all had it in the past. I really want to lose weight. I'm going to start exercising, right? But if you're not speaking to yourself and someone who is successful and who successfully holds their weight and can confidently step into their favorite dress and can confidently step into the gym, like, you still don't believe it. You still don't value it. So we need to look at this model here as well and see what's missing. And team, like anything, a skill takes a bit of practice. We need to make sure that we've got our head up sometimes and make sure we're heading in the right direction. It's like walking through a jungle. Like, if you're just whacking and cracking and just head down, focusing on hard work, you might not get the result. That might not be the best approach. In comparison, we can lift our head up, take a step back and think, you know, what's the best avenue here? And through practice and repetition, we will forge better paths. And then that's when our new skill set becomes, again, routine. It comes automatic. And look, When things don't go well, I was very quick to beat myself up. I now use this simple phrase. All this means is I still have work to do. I promise you guys, it's a load better than calling yourself fucking useless. So always move with purpose. Where are you going and what do you need to get there? Ask yourself when things don't go well, what am I missing? What do I not understand here? What is this trying to teach me? And so, in summary, motivation is a skill. Your strengths are relative. Your weaknesses are relative. To learn, we need to become unconsciously competent. It just takes a little bit of time and just takes a little bit of practice. Let me know, guys, what was your biggest takeaway from this? And I will see you in the next video.